It's the month of May 2026, and the British local elections are near. Many of you under 40 might not have heard of the British politician Enoch Powell. Here are a few video clips of him speaking in the 1960s and 1970s.
The hero of 90% of the people of this country for having said what they were waiting for somebody to say, for identifying a danger of which they were conscious but couldn't believe that nobody would see it or point it out. And I still am. There was, as I say, was a tremendous explosion of emotion, indeed, that at last something which threatened this country, which people had been watching coming, was recognized, was talked about. That's what happened. And since then, at least we've been able to talk about it. At least we've discussed. At least we've been able gradually to elicit some of the facts. Do you know the very facts of numbers were grossly underestimated 2 or 3 years ago? I myself underestimated them. In 1964, 1965, I myself supposed that this immigrant population, which I've explained, would stabilize at roughly 1 million. And while I thought that this was something which would have been better if it had been avoided, still it didn't seem to me that it represented a major problem for the future of this country. It is the numerical facts that have changed the outlook. Yes, you think that human nature is such that unless somebody referred to this, nobody would notice that their own native cities were transformed, that the white population was moving out and a different population was moving in. I didn't say that. Well, you think then that it would be noticed, but that it would not merely be tolerated, but would be taken as a desirable or acceptable development.
No, I didn't say that either.
Well, that is what you have to say. That is what you have to say, if this is not to be a problem.
No. Come from other countries.
Well, you called it a metaphor, and of course it is a metaphor, and a very striking and moving metaphor. Of course, they didn't come back. They were prevented from going there. And these people are our parents, our relatives, our own flesh and blood, part of the inhabitants of this island whose age structure and whose numbers, for the reasons which you've explained, have changed. Of course there are problems there. And there are problems which, unless we were to forswear the use of antibiotics and so on...
Something which is suggested by large numbers of doctors after the age of 60, incidentally.
I said unless we were to forswear that, is inevitable. But the immigration was not inevitable. This was due to a state of the law of this country, to which there is no parallel in any other country. This was due to the government of this country, and I take my share of the blame for it, deferring for too long to bring the law of this country into accord with reality. It is therefore something preventable in its growth and at any rate in part reversible, since unlike the land of the dead, a great majority of the immigrants here and their children born here are the citizens of their home countries. So there is at any rate that, along with other basic differences, the difference between something which is remediable or partly remediable and something which, failing euthanasia and so on, is not. But I think I think, if I may say so, that the contrast which the metaphor imports is a very instructive one.
Bravo, Enoch, you nailed it. Posthumously, would you like to know how the political campaigning is going in 2026?
Thank you, Tony. Although I'm powerless to act, it would be interesting to see those video clips, by the way. Thank you for the letter of support you sent me in the 1970s. Hope you received my letter.
Class number 1, class number 7, class number 11. जी, ये बड़ी मेहरबानी होसी जितनी कम्युनिटी है उनकी अगला है कि दोबारा इनकी मदद जाना सपोर्ट करो तो इंशाल्लाह जेरे काम इन्होंने वसा जो है वो जरूर कर सकते जाना.
Hi everyone, I'm Otterley and I'm one of your candidates for Bow East for the Green Party.
Hi, and I'm Mads and I'm one of your other Green Party candidates here in Bow East.
Thank you so much for all our volunteers that have been coming out and canvassing with us so far. We really, really appreciate it, and it's also been a lot of fun.
You've made an absolutely massive difference. The Greens are actually polling in front of Labour in this ward for the first time ever. We have an absolutely one of a kind chance to elect 3 Green councillors in a ward in Tower Hamlets for the first time in history.
We're really, really in the final push now, and this bit can make a difference between winning and losing.
It's going to be a really amazing day. Bye!
7 তারিখ আইবা আইয়া ভোট দিবা তাজউদ্দিন বাইরে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমার মেসেজ একটাই, সেটা হচ্ছে এই ইলেকশনটা আমাদের জন্য খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। তাজ ভাই যেই পরিশ্রম, এই পরিশ্রমের আজকে আমরা সবাই একত্রিত।
जरा प्यार से बोलो, मुस्कुरा के बोलो, जरा प्रेम से बोलो, मुस्कुरा के बोलो, आस्था से बोलो, जरा जोश से बोलो। लंदन होगा, लंदन होगा।
Hi, I'm at Tennyson Road, Stratford today at HSLT Food Bank. As you can see, there is a lot of people queuing up for basic necessity, that is food. Cost of living is still one of the biggest problem in our society since COVID, and we are trying to help each other, help the most marginal part of our community. So please come volunteer or donate whatever you can to help our brothers and sisters of this community. Thank you.
সহযোগিতা করেছেন। আগামী 7 তারিখ উদাত্ত আহ্বান থাকবে বাংলাদেশি ভাইদেরকে, আপনারা আমাদেরকে জয়যুক্ত করে ভুলগুলো করেছি আমরা, সেই ভুলে শুধরানোর জন্য আমরা আপনাদের ভোটের মাধ্যমে আমাদেরকে জয়যুক্ত করে সেই শুধরানোর সুযোগটুকু আমাদেরকে করে দিবেন, সেই আশা রেখে আপনাদের কাছে আমরা ভোটের প্রার্থনা জানাচ্ছি। ধন্যবাদ।
Yes, Jaju, what's happening? You okay?
All right. What's going on with child benefit?
So before, you could only claim for 2 children.
Right.
Now, Jaju, you can claim for 3, 4, and subsequently, how many children you have, you can claim child benefit for them. On top of that, they've also made free breakfast available for children at school.
Right.
They've also given free childcare for those ladies that want to go back to work. They've given free childcare for up to 9 months old kids as well. So it's obviously helping working class people in the district.
Why didn't the independents tell us?
Yeah, Jaju, you know, they never want to tell you about the positive things that are going to really, really matter to people. Obviously about changing lives and obviously taking people out of poverty, taking kids out of poverty. They're not going to tell you that, but it's positive change. So inshallah, vote Labour.
Hi, my name is Bassey Williams. I am one of the 3 reform candidates for Hazelbury Ward. Please, on May the 7th, on election day, remember to vote for all the reform candidates. 3 of us votes for Hazelbury for a change.
So I'm really proud to be with Hanushi Hassan, one of our young Greens who's a candidate for Edgbaston. And I'm really proud to endorse him because he's a local lad who's grown up here, lived here all his life. He's a graduate from Cambridge and now he's studying Black Studies at Birmingham doing his Masters. And it's such an important topic to apply to an area like Edgbaston and apply to wider Birmingham. So I'm really proud to endorse him and I'm really happy to see you. I'd be really overjoyed to see you as a councillor in May.
Hi, I'm Shabrana Hussain and today we have Paulette Hamilton with us on the doors talking to the residents in Scotland Green.
I'm here today with Shabrana Hussain and Derek Douglas. They're the candidates for the Stockland Green council elections for the Labour Party. They're talented, they're fresh blood in the area, they are absolutely local residents and they're absolutely out there working for the local residents. We've just had a really positive door knock and I'm asking you to support them on the 7th of May.
Please remember to come out to vote on the 7th of May for Derek Douglas and Shabana Hussain. And please remember you have 2 votes.
Hi, I'm Angela Rayner. I'm here in Stratford with Farhad Hussain and we've been chatting to the local members here about what Labour's been able to deliver in power, lifting over 10,000 children out of poverty by getting rid of the 2-child limit, the free school meals, the breakfast clubs, and also what Farhad wants to do in his pledge to make sure that we get free parking and continue to drive down the cost of living that people are feeling at the moment. So please make sure that you get out on the 7th of May and you use your votes for Labour.
George Gallery for Workers' Party. My objective you can follow on the page. But please remember, we need safety, security in Scotland. Things are not safe as I used to see 30 years ago. The streets are not safe, the schools are not safe. So many things are happening. I need to work with you guys and so on. We'll see you on 7th of March. Thanks.
Labour are not doing any good. They take advantage of us because we are poor and people from immigrant backgrounds. So we have to stop it. Your generation, you know, when you turn 18 and then the next local election, don't vote for Labour. And likewise for the general election.
Yes, I'll tell my kids that.
Yeah, it's really, really important because they take us for granted. Jamal, lovely to meet you, Jamal. I'm Angela.
Thank you.
All the best. Enjoy your time in the rec. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Do you think it's... I mean, one thing I noticed, this place must be about 95% English.
I would think that's probably true.
And I wonder if that's relevant to the calm atmosphere, that people are kind of adapted and evolved to be with their own kind and they trust each other and things chug along all right.
For me, that's not...
I don't know that that's...
That sounds really racially motivated. I'm not keen about that.
It's not motivated by anything, it's just the data says that if you get a society where people are all very similar, they seem to get along, they trust each other, you have lots of social goods. And then as you get people that are foreign, social trust goes down, not just between the foreigners and the natives, among the natives.
I can't comment on that. I'm not prepared to comment on anything.
Yes, what is that, please?
Hello, yes. I'm here. I'm one of the local councillors.
Council candidate? No, you're not a local councillor.
No, she's a candidate. I'm a candidate.
For which party?
For Reform.
Yeah, not interested, thank you.
I do hereby declare that Lyndon Spencer Harrison is duly elected.
As a non-binary person, yes, how do we encourage more non-binary people to get involved in politics and stand as candidates, because we are the only ones?
This is non-binary corner. It's difficult. Politics can not be the most welcoming place for LGBTQ plus people generally. I've been a member for 9 years now. I came out to some members of Pride as the first people that I told when I changed pronouns and was figuring out the whole gender situation.
Girls in North London start their day canvassing in Barnet with Bestie.
And in South London, East London and West London too.
Then we stop off at the Great North Leisure Park for a cheeky Nando's with Charlie and a little round of bowling.
And then we nip on over to the Al North Finchley website, sign their petition to stop the bowling alley to be bulldozed. And then we run amok with a lemonade and a bohemia.
This round's on me.
My first, most obvious thoughts upon viewing those video clips is the sadness that my opinions were not heeded. The indigenous people of the British Isles have been sold out by every single political party over decades. The political promotional videos are crass, in the extreme vacuous and empty of substance, no pragmatism or reflection. I have been made aware of the grooming gangs and successive governments' inaction, which is disgusting and criminal. As you might be aware, my family roots are from mid-Wales. I find the Plaid Cymru poster particularly offensive, as I have often said a kitten born in a kipper box is not a kipper. In the past, I have been called a racist incorrect. If you mean being conscious of the differences between men and nations, and from that races, then we are all racialists. I can only assume that the education system, the media and successive governments have socially engineered people not to think or perhaps beaten them into submission over decades. The Reform Party is only a stepping stone towards a proper government. I would like to think that Rupert Lowe would finish a job properly, but I doubt it. Looking further into British society in 2026, the British now seem to suffer with suicidal empathy. The grooming gang scandal, various stabbing, is beyond belief.